Nicky Hawkins just come back from the London Stadium virtually. It was West Ham 1, Burnley 0. Roy, not a pretty game, but a gritty game, and we got the points.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, to an extent, that Stockport match. It was just kind of a ground down into the turf. Granted, the pitch was much better today, but what was kind of upsetting was we got off to the front foot so early. In the first 8 to 10 minutes, it just looked like it was going to be a 3-0, 4-0, maybe a 4-1 kind of match. And we score the goal. And Antonio off of injury, the guy is you could just put money on that guy scoring, but it was upsetting because it's kind of a Moyes thing, and I really like Moyes, and I hope he stays. But we have this tendency to sit back, like we score, we go up. It doesn't matter if it's 1-0 or 2-1 or 3-2. Once we go up, we sit back entirely too deep, and especially for a club like Burnley that sits deep themselves. So. Yeah. It was a frustrating match for the last 65 minutes.
Squeaky bum time, as they say. We invited them on in the end, but boy, we made so many chances. I mean, we hit the post. We had one cleared off the line. A couple of players that went through clear. On another day, if we'd have taken our chances, we could have won 5-6-0 there. But is it starting to concern you a little bit, the amount of chances we are not taking, especially with some of the clubs we've got coming up in the next couple of weeks?
Well, I think it's a combination of the chances that we're not taking, because you saw a lot of passes across the middle that we didn't make. That run Yarmolenko made, he had Antonio sitting in the middle of the box on sides, and Yarmo is Yarmo, so he just decides to kick it off, into a defender. But it's the lack of chances, but it's also on the flip side, you have chances that are hitting the post, bad luck. Cresswell had a world-class back heel finish today, by the way. It was in the wrong goal. So thank God for offsides. But sometimes it's just whether luck breaks your way, you're hitting the post, you're getting a bad break. So if those go your way, you're less concerned about the lack of chances, but attacking is the way to play. I think we have the club. We don't sit back. We don't have world-class striker up top, but you have to be somewhere between midfield and forward. You really have to be in that forward third more often than we are. And so I'd love to see more chances. I want to talk about Fornals. I don't think he gets enough run. And I get that we can all see that his class is maybe – it's not the top of the Premier League, but his effort, his work rate is top notch. And he misses and I get it, but it's one of those where when you bring Fornals, Lanzini, because I would have brought Lanzini on for Fornals.
Yeah.
It's a work rate. It's kind of the same. It's not reckless, but it's like a step shy of reckless. Run around the pitch, all the effort on both sides. I think Fornals has a little bit more than Lanzini. But I don't pull Bowen. I don't pull Ben Rama. And I know that we have a match in 2-3 days, but there's nothing more frustrating for a West Ham fan than watching Moyes in substitutions.
Do you know what, Ross? I'll second you on that one, mate. Listen, we have got a match in 3 days. Big Sam comes back to the London Stadium. Yep. What are we expecting from that one?
Well, I think it's all going to depend on what Moyes decides to set up. Yeah, I feel like every match I'm watching Twitter and I'm watching social media to find out the lineup and almost even the formation just to see what he's dreaming up, because every once in a while he just throws something at us where everybody, 10, 15 minutes before kick is just pissed. Like, what in the hell are you thinking? What are you going to do? Where are the subs? And when he sets up a lineup where the subs can come in that are very advantageous, they won't come in until the 80th minute. And it's just you don't have to make all the subs at halftime. I get that. But, man, like 65th, 70th minute, if the sub was intentional, like you knew this was, player A was going to come in for player B and you absolutely knew it was going to happen, why are you waiting until there's 10 minutes left in the match? It's almost to the point where you've run out of time for them to make the impact that you intended them to make. And it just drives me up the wall.
Up the fucking wall, Roy. That's what you wanted to say.
Yeah. I know. I'm trying to be nice, but I look back at the matches too, though. We've got 4 clean sheets, and then you kind of look at like the Chelsea match was just shit. The Man U match was disgusting because we went up 1-0 and then just sat back, knowing that Man U is a second half team, and Dude, Liverpool at Man U today. I've put it in the chat a couple times. Like, I'm rooting for the asteroid. All right, I'm not. That's who I hope wins the game. but it, it's just one of those things where this year we're right there, and man, and I hate that to the extent that I know the board doesn't want to sign anybody because they're like, we have who we need. There's no reason for me to spend any of my money. I need my nice cars, but we're right there, which means you need that tiny little extra push. You need that extra player. You need that extra, kind of just whether it's an aspect of the game. If we could sign a 14th winger, I suppose, because we've got all the wingers. But you need a striker, even if he's not even if he's at or below Antonio's level. You got somebody that can spell Antonio late in matches where you're up. Antonio was gassed today, gassed. And I think it's a hey, great to Antonio, like tip of the cap. He came on off injury, scores, and rolled a full 90, 94, 95, 96, whatever it was. But it's amazing to me that we as fans, and especially me, I'm a Texan. I got into Premier League a little over a decade ago. But I watch sports. Sports is my life. But I can see Antonio gas, but Moyes can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we can all see it. It's like we all saw Haller. Like, what a fantastically slow player. But we could all see it, and it's a work rate, and that's why I think Fornals is more valuable than what we give him. And that's why I think Coufal, it may be one of the best signings when we look back, one of the best signings we've had in years. That dude's work rate is filthy. It's just filthy. That dude, he plays hard, and I always laugh about it because I watch, especially him, Soucek a little bit, but Coufal, they'll get in the box, and it'll be an aerial or there'll be some kind of matchup, and Coufal knocks a dude to the turf, and he looks down at him, he's like, "Get up, you bitch." Like, because Czech football is different, like Eastern Bloc football.
Yeah, I mean, all the tough boys come from the Czech Republic. I remember we had a little known defender called Thomas Repko one time. I don't know if you remember him, but Jesus Christ, he was as hard as nails. And yeah, I think that's what they bring. They bring their fitness levels and their work rate to the side, and I think that's particularly what Moyes, that's what he likes about players. That's why Fornals keeps on getting picked. Although I did think Fornals was particularly good today. I thought just decision making at times from all three or four of them.
Yeah, it's a combination. He and Soucek today had a weird kind of combo. I thought their decision making was good, but the actual touch on the passes was just really poor. Soucek, his vision was great today, and it's like he had a dead foot. He couldn't get passes all the way through. He had guys on runs, and he just kind of fluttering the ball along. So it was just one of those days. But Antonio brought us out in the beginning, and then we're able to sit back, and especially against a club like Burnley, where they're not an attacking club. You don't have to worry about them really pushing 75 minutes of the game into our box. So I mean, it worked out. So you're okay with it, but you also look forward to the matches you have coming up, who you're playing. You think about and what we've seen. You can't score and then just sit back. You can't. I mean.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
And a real heads up to Fabianski. I said this. I don't think he gets near enough credit in the Premier League. We know how good he is, but I think Fabs is just he's absolutely phenomenal. So I don't think he gets enough credit from anybody else outside of West Ham.
No, I think you're right, mate. I think he's one of the better goalkeepers in the league. If he'd have been playing for a Man United or an Arsenal or someone like that at this stage of his career, he'd be getting far more credit. Roy, thank you so much for coming on, my friend. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you join us another time. Continue the rest of it. I know it's very early where you are, but so continue drinking, continue enjoying your day, and have a lovely weekend. One thing left to say, come on, your hands. Thanks, Roy.